It's hard being surrounded with this much history and not be humbled by the insignificance of our daily anxiety.
How true, and how I need to hear that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in Andor Season 1.
Don't move, because you know what'll happen.
Hey, what are you doing?
There we go.
For this list, we're looking at the funnest and most intriguing Easter eggs, references, and callbacks in the first season of the Disney Plus Star Wars series. We'll be pulling in information from all over the galaxy, so this is your spoiler alert. What do you think of Andor? What Easter eggs did you catch? Tell us in the comments. Number 10. Mimban.
I fought in Mimban when I was 16. 2 years of it. Straight out of prison into the mud. I'm one of 50 that survived.
Rogue One showed a much grittier side to war in the Star Wars universe, as did Solo. Andor has continued to explore a galaxy that's more grounded and nuanced than what came before. It's fitting that there's a wartime connection between Solo and Andor. After getting kicked out of the Imperial Army, Han Solo fought for the Empire on the swamp planet Mimban against the Mimbanese Liberation Army.
Your Empire needs you! Troopers forward! Solo, get up! We're almost there! Almost where?
There, he faced the horrors of war, but also met and liberated Chewie. It turns out, Cassian was there as well, also on the side of the Empire. Maybe they crossed paths. It is a small galaxy after all.
You were on the ground in Mimban for 6 months. You came in as a cook. You lived because you ran.
Number 9. Stuffed Bantha. Fun fact, in A New Hope, the Banthas were portrayed by an Asian elephant named Margie in an elaborate costume. Her trunk would sometimes pop out on set. While Banthas are native to Tatooine, they're also bred elsewhere in the galaxy, and apparently, children are quite fond of them. There are actually a few mentions of Bantha toys in non-canon media. The first and foremost such plushie belongs to Lumpy in the Star Wars Holiday Special. When Cassian's adoptive mother Marva walks into his room, there's a similar Bantha toy sitting by his bed. We're still going to insist that the holiday special is not canon. Number 8. Cantwell-class arrestor cruiser. Andor has featured several familiar ships, such as the Tug B-13 or Quad Jumper, which first appeared in The Force Awakens.
What about that ship?
That one's garbage! The garbage will do!
You can also glimpse a WTK-85A like the one Rey's parents stole and flew away in, the Republic gunships introduced in Attack of the Clones, the TIE Reapers from Rogue One, and more. Perhaps the most notable, though, is the Cantwell-class arrestor cruiser, whose tractor beams almost capture Luthen. It was originally designed for A New Hope, based on World War II aircraft carriers, but first showcased in an Imperial recruitment film in Solo, as well as a deleted scene.
Explore new worlds. Learn valuable skills. Bring order and unity to the galaxy. Be a part of something. Join the Empire.
It is a striking design that we're glad we finally got to see realized. Calling pop culture superfans everywhere. Do you love to argue with WatchMojo's top 10 ranks? Introducing WatchMojo's first and very own party game. Bring your superpowers to the table and fight for your pick to be at the top of the list. It's all the fun of the comment section, but in real life. Number 7. Leida.
Leida? Did you eat?
When would that have happened? Just came down.
After Disney acquired Lucasfilm, the Star Wars Expanded Universe was rebranded as Legends and considered non-canon. However, more and more material from Legends has been re-canonized. The planet Belsavis, for example, was introduced in a 1995 novel and featured in the game Star Wars: The Old Republic before appearing on a canon map in 2016 and receiving a brief mention in Andor.
On planet. We
Tungstoid steel was also first introduced in a novel.
You may start. That was level 1 of 3. Our floors are tungstoid steel.
In a similar vein, Mon Mothma's daughter Leida originated in 1993's Dark Empire sourcebook. It was spelled differently with the I before the E, but the basic continuity is there. In this sense, Leida is a living legend. Number 6. Rakatan Invaders.
It's a Quati signet, blue kyber, skystone, the ancient world. It celebrates the uprising against the Rakatan invaders.
Speaking of the expanded universe, a lot of lore from Star Wars video games has also been integrated into the Disney-era canon. One of the deepest cut references in Andor comes when Luthen gives Cassian a kyber crystal pendant that commemorates a revolt against Rakatan invaders. The Rakatans debuted in the 2003 RPG Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. After a plague and civil war, the collapse of their infinite empire, which had been based on conquest and enslavement, led to the formation of the Galactic Republic, 25,000 years before the main Star Wars era. While the species had been mentioned in a canon magazine and sourcebook, this is the first reference in a TV series or film. That pendant must be really old. Number 5. Death Star components. The first season finale features a post-credit scene that reveals the Death Star, still under construction. Droids are assembling key components in space, and it's these components that are really chilling. They're the same parts that Cassian and other prisoners had been forced to assemble on Narkina 5. By using forced labor, the Emperor was able to keep the Death Star's construction a secret. This means that involuntarily, Cassian himself had a hand in building the weapon that will ultimately kill him. The scene is a reminder of the stakes involved, as well as the cunning and oppressive strategies of the Emperor. Number 4. Familiar faces. There are several return players in Andor, such as Cassian himself, Mon Mothma, and Saw Gerrera. However, there are also a few that casual fans might have missed. Cassian's fellow prisoner Ruscott Melshi will go on to become a sergeant in the Rebel Alliance in Rogue One. Admiral Wolf Yularen served with the Republic in the Clone Wars film and series, but has joined the Imperial Security Bureau by the time he appears in Star Wars Rebels and Andor.
The use of any local custom, festival, or tradition as cover for rebel activity will trigger permanent revocation of Imperial tolerance.
He's still with the Empire in A New Hope. Interestingly, Andor also features a Corellian credited as Dewey Pomular, who looks a lot like partisan fighter Syed Ock in Rogue One, down to the distinct cyber optic wire.
Stop the Empire. They not be killing ye, may it today.
Number 3. Cassian's pistol.
How do you know about me?
I was hoping for a more relaxed conversation, but you're right, we don't have time.
We mentioned video game references, and there's a lot more to come. We have fond memories of Star Wars Dark Forces and its sequels, and Andor includes a few nods. This series name drops the planet Fest, the location of an Imperial base that Kyle Katarn infiltrates in Dark Forces.
We have always said Fest. Every doc I've ever submitted has always said you were born on Fest. Have you ever said anything other than Fest?
Even more notably, Cassian's chunky MW-20 Briar pistol is based on the K-16 model that was Kyle Katarn's signature sidearm, and included in Star Wars Battlefront. Cassian seems to use the same pistol that his adoptive father Clem once did. There's something undeniably badass about the blaster that makes it a welcome addition to Cassian's character. Number 2. Indiana Jones Relics.
I feel under siege.
I have many mouths to feed. I can only forage for so long.
We're pretty sure we know what Indiana would think of Luthen's antique shop.
That belongs in a museum!
We could do a top 10 just based on Luthen's collection. One of the most intriguing objects is a very familiar bullwhip frozen in carbonite. In another scene, you can see the Shankara stones from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Since this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, does that mean these objects made their way to Earth thousands of years later? The Easter eggs go both ways, by the way. There are several Star Wars references in the Indiana Jones films, such as hieroglyphs that show R2-D2 and C-3PO in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. THX 1138 vibes. The Imperial Prison recalls George Lucas's dystopian world in his 1971 film THX 1138.
Attention all stations, I have a temporary blockage affecting a red section module. Must demand complete insertion.
Rudown? There's an Abednito with yellow load lifter arms on Ferrix, just like on Jakku 39 years later. Imperial logo. The prison on Narkina 5 forms the Imperial logo when seen from above. $25.05. The last digits of Luthen's fake transponder ID refer to the release date of A New Hope on May 25th.
Stand by for transponder scan.
ID found.
Gorman writes, Mon Mothma's concerns in Andor foreshadow a massacre that will lead her to denounce the Emperor in Star Wars Rebels.
This is a boot to the throats of all Gormans, who've done nothing more than request their basic rights. I name the Emperor himself for ordering the brutal attacks on the people of Gorman.
Number 1. Sith Stalker Armor.
If I recall, he has an interest in military artifacts.
Yes.
So let's start with the oldest one.
Luthen's shop is Easter egg heaven. Eagle-eyed viewers would have glimpsed a Kalikori, a Twi'lek family heirloom, stone tablets with symbols associated with the world between worlds, a Jedi Temple guard mask, a breathing mask that looks like Plo Koon's, Jedi and Sith holocrons, and Padme's headdress.
The rail was gone. Clean break, fresh.
How did that get there? Most prominent in Luthen's collection, however, is a suit of Sith Stalker armor, such as worn by Darth Vader's secret apprentice Starkiller in the 2008 game Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. While Starkiller might never make it into canon, this was a glorious nod for longtime fans.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.